Make America Great Again. This is a slogan that's coming from a man that thinks about himself a lot and looks like a giant Oompa Loompa. Now, I don't want to give him any names just because of the fact he's getting too much publicity than he already has, but you already know anyway. So, with the elections coming up in about a few months, you have two choices: a corrupt and a crazy. Either way goes. But that's beside the point. What I'm talking about is make America great again. But when was it great, to be honest? Now, before you start pitching your comment section about, oh, you're a fucking anti-American, you're a fucking Mexican, bleh, get out of our country. Before I start, let me just say that I would not rather live any other country than the US of A. Okay, we have made strides in innovation throughout hundreds of years. We've invented the Model T, we have revolutionized the internet, we have an awesome entertainment industry, and when it comes to job opportunities, the US is no question the best country for jobs. But there are some downsides, unfortunately, which a lot of people think that we can ignore, but there is some issues with this country. For instance, the fact that public schools have less funding than the military, since it pretty much covers the whole USA budget. Or the fact that prescription drug prices, even life-saving drugs. Over here, we have the Martin Shkreli's of the world trying to pump up the prices from a mere $3 to $700. And of course, the lack of public transportation. So the car is pretty much the only accessible thing you can have if you have the money for it. If you're poor, then suck it up. Take public transportation. The gap between the rich and the poor, the lax gun laws. I mean, I can guarantee you there's going to be another mass shooting somewhere in the future. The fact that cops can get away with killing a unarmed black person or a person of color, or anybody in particular. Politicians that are bought by corporations just for the fact that they can bend the rules around them. And of course, the biggest issue in this country is the race issue. Ever since the inception of the United States in 1776, it's been nothing more than a race experiment. It seems that every single time a group of immigrants come to the United States, they settled here, they make businesses, they give jobs, they somehow feel threatened that other groups will try to replace them, that tries to undermine their quality of life. Now, if you want to know why Chinatowns are the way they are and not because it's the next hipster destination, you should definitely read the history of these Chinatowns in the United States. It's a very sad and very interesting one. Now let's get back to what the title is. Make America Great Again. Now, if you lived in the 1940s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, as a white person, you had it good. Make America Great Again. But for a person of color, it was a very difficult one. The American dream is, to them, the American nightmare, with lack of opportunities, lack of resources, lack of finding a place to rent because landlords refuse to rent people of color. Now, it seems that certain individuals want this type of America to come back again. And of course, certain people think that racism doesn't exist. But if you're not a person that was stopped by cops 4 or 5 times or was rejected by a job because of your race, then you don't really feel what it's like. Instead of making America great again, How about let's make America for everyone? An America that every single person, regardless of race, gender, or religion, should have a right to own a home, to own a car, to have better quality of life for every individual. But it seems that we will never get that. Not in my lifetime, unfortunately. It seems that we will continue this war against hatred, bigotry, ignorance. I hope I see a glimmer of hope, but I do believe that this country would triumph good over evil. But I hope.